ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host with the most, as always, Francois878, and today is going to be a little bit of a weird episode. Normally I reserve these specifically for weapon guides and builds and stuff like that, but this is going to be more of a housekeeping video. There's a couple of topics in the Warframe community over the last few weeks that I have not had a chance to cover due to being just crazy busy in my own personal life, but I wanted to talk about them in kind of a rapid-fire sort of way before Update 18 comes out, because I wanted to, when Update 18 comes out, I want, all Update 18 all the time for a few days for that, because it's there's so much stuff in Update 18, it's absolutely, it's insane. There's actually, I shouldn't say that, there's a couple of things that they missed out on that I'm cat bros. It's just cat bros, really. But that being said, I'm going to get right into it. The three big topics in the Warframe community that I didn't make a video on when they first came out because I simply didn't have any time was the Sarin rework and the Sarin revisit, the Mios community-created weapon, and the Frost Prime unvaulting, which is going to occur, I believe, next week. It hasn't quite happened yet. But first and foremost, I want to talk about Sarin. Those of you who may or may not know from watching my Sarin Prime Warframe Wednesday from maybe about a month ago, I'm not a big fan of Sarin. Before her rework especially, I thought she was press 4 to win. I thought she was incredibly boring. I thought her first three abilities were essentially useless, and they were pretty useless. Molt, it was arguable that Molt would be okay, but if you were building Miasma to be as good as it could possibly be, Molt suffered a great deal. So she was a one-trick pony through and through, and I thought she was just boring, straight up. But then the rework came, and I think she's now kind of in the opposite direction. I think she's too complicated. She was at one end of the spectrum of frames as being too boring, and now she's kind of too complicated with all the different combos that you have to achieve to get Miasma to really deal as much damage as it could possibly deal, with Molt and Spores and Toxic Lash, and then finally being able to hit your ult, and it's kind of a nightmare. Personally, I still don't really like. I think that she's a little bit more interesting, and I think she's like Spores, her first ability. I think that is a lot more useful, though it's kind of hypocritical, honestly, with the community, because I hear all these people saying, "Oh, Spore is such a great ability now; it deals such great, damage," and but then people will turn around and complain about Banshee's sonar ability and having to hit the little glowing dots on enemies. Like the Sarin spores are the same size. I don't know. I think it's a little silly. I still don't like Sarin, basically. That was a big part of the reason I didn't actually do a video on that, is because I don't think she's underpowered. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Since her rework, I don't think she's underpowered or overpowered. I think she's roughly the same. I just think it's now more complicated to achieve the same level of damage. Whereas before the rework, you could just hit 4 and murder everything in the room. Now, you have to hit all 4 of your abilities in a certain order, whilst not dying, because her survivability went down after the rework. And then, hopefully, you can hit it and deal, I think technically, according to the numbers, Sarin actually did a little bit more damage altogether. But it's just so complicated, and it's a good 50% luck whether you manage to hit all of these abilities in just the right order. So, personally, I don't like Sarin. I didn't like Sarin back then, I don't like Sarin now, and I don't think I ever will. She's just personally not really my cup of tea, so that's why I didn't really... That was a big reason. Like, I had no time either in my life to do a video, but the other part of it was just, I don't know, I wasn't impressed overall. The Mios, the community-created whip sword that everyone and their grandmother has been waiting for the last, probably over a year. I've been hearing about the sword. I feel like I've been hearing about the sword since before I started playing Warframe. Like, I feel like 2 weeks into, I've been playing Warframe for just shy of 2 years now, and I feel like I've I've heard it, whispers and talking about it the whole time I've been playing. But I'm sure that's perhaps not entirely true. But we have been waiting for this weapon for a long time, and after the first the sword and board, the first community created melee weapon came out with subpar stats. I had a rotten feeling in my gut that the Mios was going to follow suit, and it was not going to be a very good weapon. And sure enough, the Mios comes out, and a lot of people initially complained about the base stats. I basically leveled it to 30 and have basically left it alone. I haven't really done a whole lot with it yet because I haven't really had time, and just after all the reviews I saw on the forums and on the Reddit, I just was like, I'll come back to you later when I have time, and I haven't been able to do that. But it really just it disappoints me that obviously these community weapons shouldn't be like the ultimate end game quality weapons. You shouldn't be able to take these 60 minutes into a tier 4 survival, but they shouldn't be. They should be decent. They should be at least mid-tier weapons that can fairly easily handle, up to maybe Neptune-ish level-wise, like lower 30s or upper 30 range, enemy-wise. I don't see why you couldn't do that, and for all I know, the Mios could, and people could just be complaining, just to have something to complain about. But I think that the first community weapon they released, the sword and board, which the name is escaping me right now. That one was definitely disappointing for a lot of people, and that I know that was definitely a subpar. I know the Aachen Brunt, which was the Axon board, which came out later, is far superior to it in pretty much every way. So, but yeah, I was just overall pretty disappointed in the Mios, and hopefully it gets a buff soon, maybe a little bit, turn people's opinions around on it, but we'll see. The Frost Prime unvaulting, I don't know what to think about this so much. The community seems pretty torn about it. Half the community liking the idea, and the other half the community not liking the idea. Personally, for me, when the Frost Prime unvaulting is going to feature Frost Prime, the Latron Prime, the Reaper Prime, the Missa Prime Sayandana, I'm hoping I pronounced that right, and the Prime Extractors. The Extractors are the devices that will harvest materials on planets for you while you're away. You can just set them up, and they'll harvest material, and then you come back either 4 or 8 hours later, depending on the type of extractor you have, and they'll have gathered resources for you, like Orkin cells and stuff like that, and they're quite handy when you're a veteran. Who's I've put in, I think, just over 1,000 hours. I have about 400 Orkin cells, so I don't use the extractors as much anymore. But I didn't have the extractor primes that are included in the Frost Prime unvaulting, and I believe on top of all that, you also get 1,000 platinum, and you get all that for $60. Here's the thing: the extractors and the Sayandana were exclusively available in the $140 Prime Access for Ember Prime, and that was the Prime Access that was going on right when I first started. So I couldn't justify at that point, when I was first playing, to invest $140 into the game. And I always kind of regretted it, because that Sayandana, to me, looks fucking awesome. It's probably only looks awesome because I don't have it, and then once I buy it, I'm like, oh, this is not cool. But I always kind of regretted not investing and not getting that Sayandana and those extractors when I had the chance. But that's because the Ember Prime Access did not have the Prime Access Accessories bundle, which then the next Prime Access had. The Rhino Prime Access featured that. So I think it's kind of cool of DE to kind of do this unvaulting and, have feature these previously unavailable cosmetics at a much cheaper price and kind of make them available for people who A, weren't playing 2 years ago, and B, who didn't have $140 2 years ago. And for the price, I already have Frost Prime and Latron Prime and the Reaper Prime, of course. So really, right now, I'm paying $60 for the Sayandana, the Extractors, and the 1,000 Platinum. Which, if you do the math, I think 1,000 Platinum is $50 anyways. So technically, it's not bad. But if you, like that's the base price for Platinum. That's without any of the, the 20% or 50% or 75% off coupons. So... it's, I don't know. I'm gonna buy it because I want the Sayandana, and I'm not gonna let this one go. What I'm not going to be very happy about in the future is if they decide to offer more cosmetic items from other Prime Access bundles that did have a Prime Access accessories, because I feel like that. I feel like for those people, the people who were playing the game from Rhino Prime Access on did have the chance to get the exclusive items for a cheaper price. So those people, I feel like that's more exclusive, whereas with the Ember Prime Access, there was no cheaper option. So, kind of, I don't know. Who knows? Right now, I'm cautiously optimistic about the unvaulting, and we will see in the future what the future holds, and we'll go from there. But those are, ladies and gentlemen, the three big topics that I wanted to talk about and get completely out of the way before Update 18, because I've been thinking about making this video for the last week, and I gotta do this. I gotta talk about this before Update 18, because once Update 18 hits, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to backtrack and do this. So this is really just like a housekeeping kind of mega episode of old topics that I decided to go back and talk about. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Warframe content. Like I've said about 4 dozen times already in this video, there will be Update 18 stuff as soon as it hits. I'm going to be doing all kinds of... I'm going to be doing the second Dream Quest. It's honestly... It's actually hard for me to do Warframe live. For some reason, my computer just doesn't like to record audio and... video and play Warframe at the same time. I'm not sure what the issue is. I still really haven't figured it out, but I'm going to try to do it live. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and I apologize. But for now, that's the plan. I'm also going to be doing guides for all of the new weapons, the sniper reworks, the new archer frame, Avara. I hope I'm pronounced. Disclaimer: Francois actually does not know how to pronounce anything in Warframe, so don't take anything he says seriously. But thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Like I said before, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Warframe content coming your way very soon. I've been your host with the most, as always, Francois878.